Okay, let's talk about how to buy a house without a credit score history. I live in a $2.5 million home in Southeast Florida, and I'm all about no debt except for a mortgage. So I'm gonna tell you how I did it and how you can get a mortgage too without falling into the credit score trap. Most mortgage lenders do prefer to see a good credit score and lengthy credit history when somebody applies for a mortgage, but there are plenty of people who don't meet those standards. So you might be asking yourself, can I buy a house with no credit? And that's the question we're going to answer. How do you buy a house without a credit score history? And also as a bonus, if you stay until the end, I'm going to name the top mortgage company in the country, the #1 mortgage company that gives mortgages to those without credit scores. So stick around. Hi, I'm the business guy, the CEO of Lawyers Limited, the nation's largest asset protection firm. And please click the like button if you want me to make more videos like this. Plus, by clicking the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, when more videos come out like this, you'll be up to date right away. First of all, let me go on a little rant. Can I do that? Now, I covered this little part in a prior video, but I've just got to get this off my chest again right now, and it goes like this. But if I don't borrow money, how can I get a credit score? Okay, wait a minute. Think about that. Do you know who made up the term credit score? It was the credit industry. The credit industry to keep you in debt. Now, the only debt that you should have, if you have one at all, is a mortgage which you pay off quickly. And I know of 14 mortgage lenders who can give you a mortgage loan right now without a credit score if you can prove that you can pay it back. So saying you need credit to get a credit score is like one hog talking to another at the slaughterhouse saying, hey, how are we going to get slaughtered if we don't walk down this ramp? It's like little pigs with their hooves together begging outside the slaughterhouse door, praying that they get accepted to the slaughter. And that's what you look like sitting there hoping you get your loan approved because you're just going to the slaughter financially once you do. So don't get sucked into this credit score nonsense like 95% of the population of the civilized world do. I want you to be different. Stop taking advice from poor people. If you can afford the monthly payment on the car or the furniture or other stupid things that broke people finance, and they're going broke because they finance things instead of saving up and paying cash, by the way. If you can afford the monthly payment, you can afford to save that much in the bank every month until you can pay cash. So you say, but my interest rate is only 1.8%. Well, hooey do for you. Aren't you smart? Well, you overpaid for the car and you could have gotten a better deal walking into that place with a pocket full of cash. They know the money has to come from somewhere, and these car dealers aren't stupid people. So there's your interest rate. So again, stop taking your dang advice from broke people, and most people are broke people. Okay, now that I got that off my chest again, here are the ways to get a mortgage without a credit score. And don't worry, as you pay your bills on time, you can find a way to prove to the mortgage lender, and there are plenty of ways to go about buying a house with no credit. Whether it's a government-backed loan or through manual underwriting, you still have a chance at getting your mortgage. So how much credit history is needed to buy a house? Now, a person's credit history is only one thing that lenders consider when deciding if they'll give you a mortgage. The minimum credit requirements will vary lender to lender, but what you can expect that each lender will want is to see evidence that you borrow responsibly. In other words, they'll want to know that if they lend you money, you're going to pay it back on time. Now, you may find yourself in a position of wanting to buy a house, but either having a low credit score or none at all. Now, keep in mind, those are two very different situations. Having a bad credit score generally means your credit score is either poor, 300 to 579, or fair, 580 to 699. But when you have no credit, it just means you haven't borrowed money before and therefore have no credit score at all. Now, both of these scenarios might make it a bit more challenging to buy a house, but there are solutions, and here they are. Number one, apply for an FHA loan. Now, an FHA loan is a mortgage that's backed by the Federal Housing Administration. Now, these loans help people purchase a home when they may otherwise not be able to. The program is often aimed at first-time home buyers, but anybody who meets the requirements can borrow an FHA loan. Now, per the FHA loan requirements, lenders are allowed to consider candidates with no credit history. Now, this situation falls under the FHA's category of a non-traditional credit history, and lenders can find other ways to verify your on-time payment history. In fact, the federal government specifically prohibits lenders from using the lack of credit history as a reason to reject a loan application. Now, keep in mind that FHA loans generally require two types of mortgage insurance. You'll have to pay an upfront mortgage insurance premium of 1.75% as well as a monthly mortgage insurance payment. Number 2, get a cosigner. Now, a cosigner is another individual who agrees to sign your loan documents with you and assumes responsibility for the loan. Now, this doesn't mean the cosigner will be the one making the loan payments. Instead, it generally means they agree to make payments if the primary borrower doesn't. Now, for someone to qualify as a mortgage cosigner, they'll need good credit and a positive credit history. Now, keep in mind that co-signing somebody else's mortgage is a huge responsibility, and you may be hard-pressed to find somebody to take that on unless they're a parent or something. And personally, I highly advise not being a co-signer in somebody else's loan, so I'm not recommending it, I'm just mentioning as an option. Number 3, go through the underwriting process. Now, some people think that since they have no credit history, that they can't get a loan, so they don't even try. So just try. Underwriting is the process that your mortgage lender goes through to verify your income and employment, debt, financial history to decide whether to give you a loan. Now, under normal circumstances, underwriting includes pulling your credit history to determine your credit worthiness. Now, somebody without a credit history may be able to go through the manual underwriting process. Manual underwriting is when your lender goes through each financial documents by hand rather than using an automated computer process. Now, manual underwriting is ideal for somebody with no credit because it allows your lender to verify your payment history in other ways. You can request proof of on-time payments from your landlord, insurance company, utility company, and more to show your lender that you pay your bills every month. Number 4, use smaller lenders. Non-traditional lenders like small or online banks and credit unions often have more lenient lending standards than big banks. As a result, you may have an easier time getting a mortgage with bad credit or no credit at all. Now, if you have an existing account at a small bank or credit union, set up an appointment with a loan officer to see what you can work out. If you don't have an existing account, shop around for online lenders to see the requirements. It might take a few tries to find the right lender, so don't get discouraged. Number 5, have a large down payment. Now, mortgage lenders may be a bit more inclined to overlook poor or non-existent credit if you're willing to make a large down payment. Now, typically, you'll need a down payment of at least 20%. And the more money you put down, the more skin you have in the game. Therefore, the lender might see you as more likely to make your monthly payment so you don't lose your initial investment. Number 6, conventional loans. Now, most mortgage lenders look to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac when setting up their minimum requirements for home loans. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac allow for no credit loans as long as borrowers meet a few additional requirements. 1, down payment. With no credit history, borrowers need a down payment of at least 10%. This number is significantly higher than the 3% required for certain credit scores. Reserve requirements. Borrowers must have 12 months worth of mortgage payments in the bank when they close on their home. DTI ratio. Without a credit score, borrowers must have a debt-to-income ratio of no more than 36%. PMI. With conventional mortgages, the amount of private mortgage insurance somebody pays usually depends on their credit score, but without a credit score, your PMI will be equal to what it would be if you had the lowest available credit score. Number 7, VA loans. This is one just like my son acquired. He's a former U.S. Marine, and a VA loan is backed by the Department of Veterans Affairs and is designed specifically for military veterans who meet certain service length requirements. While many lenders require a minimum credit score of 580 for these loans, there's technically no minimum credit score needed. The VA requires lenders to review the entire loan profile, including verifying payment history in ways other than credit history. Number 8, USDA loans. Some friends of ours who are farmers acquired one of these. A USDA loan is one that's backed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and these loans generally are available to low to moderate income earners who live in a qualified rural area. Now, USDA loans generally require a credit score of at least 640, but there are ways around that. Using the manual underwriting process, you can get a USDA loan with no credit score as long as you can provide at least 12 months of payment history in other ways. So the bottom line is, it's undoubtedly easier to qualify for a mortgage with a good credit score and a lengthy credit history. But if you don't tick all those boxes, roll the dice anyway. There are plenty of ways to get a home loan with no credit, so read up on the different types of mortgages to decide which is right for you. Okay, now here's the information I promised. I recommend going through a company called Churchill Mortgage. Now, I'm not getting anything for recommending them. I've just seen people who aren't foolish by falling into the credit score scam get mortgages through Churchill Mortgage. And you can can reach them by visiting churchillmortgage.com or calling 1-888-562-6200. And again, I get nothing out of this. This is just to give subscribers to the Business Guy YouTube channel some financial options, and they've done a great job for people I've seen, and I think they're somebody that you should contact first if you don't have a credit score but are financially responsible. Please click like, subscribe, and share this video with others. Thanks for watching. This is the Business Guy.